South Park Rally is a kart-style racing game featuring characters all across the South Park series. It was released in 2000 for the PlayStation, Nintendo 64, PC, and Dreamcast. This is yet another racing game that was published by Acclaim. They really had a chokehold on this genre back in the day. At face value, this game looks like any other kart racer, but rather than having traditional races, South Park Rally takes a much different approach at the mascot kart racing gimmick, for better or worse. Maybe the latter, because this game was developed in only 7 months, causing it to receive mostly negative ratings at the time of its release. I personally don't know what all the fuss is about, probably because I was only 6 years old when this game came out, and I definitely didn't know what South Park was back then. This game has a huge cast of characters from the series that are playable racers, and more characters means more fun, right? At least it used to when you're younger and look at things in a different light. With such a wide range of characters to choose from, surely one of them has to be the worst to play as. To be perfectly honest with you, I have no idea who the worst character is, or even if there is one for that matter. I looked into it as much as I could, and each character definitely plays different, but there were no definitive answers. Based solely on a recommendation from a subscriber and awesome supporter of this channel called Big Country, I was asked to beat the game as Chef, who allegedly is one of the worst starting characters you can play as. I have no idea what I'm getting into, but I'm ready and willing to see if you can beat South Park Rally using only Chef. For this challenge, I'll be playing on the Nintendo 64 version of this game and completing the championship mode. This mode puts you through a ton of different races and challenges, so I'll explain how they work as I go along. I should also mention that there's a ton of different items you can get in this game. I'm not going to get all into that this time to keep things ad-friendly, and you can probably tell why throughout this playthrough. The first race is called Rally Days. You have to race all throughout the town of South Park and hit each checkpoint in order from 1 to 4 to finish a lap. Simple enough, except not really, at least to a newbie. Having come off of finishing Madagascar carts and jumping right into this, the more open exploration encouragement of this track threw me off from the get-go. It was so confusing, and Chef didn't handle very well. Seriously, I was running around like a chicken with its head cut off, and just couldn't seem to get this incredibly basic race down. Even when I did manage to pull myself together and hit all the checkpoints, I was still way behind everyone else with no chance of making it through. Chef wasn't even that slow, but he certainly had some stiff controls. In this game, you need to get first place to advance, and you only get 5 continues in the championship mode. You can save your progress, but this is another one of those games that needs a controller pack to save. How does South Park need it, but The Legend of Zelda, which came out 2 years earlier, doesn't? I'm gonna go ahead and blame my terrible start of this challenge on the fact that I wasn't prepared to jump into something totally different like this, after having spent a good few hours on a more traditional racing game. What the f is going on here? So I put the game down, went to bed, and came back the next day feeling refreshed and ready to take it on again. Everything just seemed to click during this attempt. I got first place way too easily. We changed things up a bit in Rally Days too. The map stays the same, but this time you have to grab a trophy and take it through each of the newly placed checkpoints. Whoever crosses the 4th checkpoint with the trophy wins. I quickly grabbed the trophy and hit 2 of the checkpoints, but after passing through the second one, everyone started closing in on me like I was Pac-Man and they were the spooky ghosts. I got caught in a dog pile for the trophy and ended up losing it. It ultimately got past a cartman, who took it to the 4th checkpoint and won. In the moment, I hadn't realized it, but you could literally just grab some items and post up at the 4th checkpoint, waiting for the trophy holder to swing by and swipe it at the last second, which is what I sorta did on my next try. I waited at the 3rd checkpoint and tried to take the trophy from Wendy, but she breezed right past me. The trophy made its way over to Pip, and bumping into him right near the 4th checkpoint transferred the trophy and victory over to me. Things switch up once again in Cow Days. Everyone is infected with mad cow disease. The only cure is to grab an antidote and hold on to it until your disease percentage reaches 0. I could not get my hands on this antidote. Bebe grabbed a hold of it and was impossible to catch. She was about to be cured, but I swooped in as she hit 9% left. And then I ran like the Dickens away from everyone. Thank God this game gives you short invincibility after grabbing an objective. I got down to 15% when Bebe hit me with an item and knocked the antidote out of my hands. In a stroke of luck, Kenny picked it up instead. I was stun locked for a second and got hit with this lady who must have been a member of the California Raisins, because they were plastered all over my screen. Eventually, I recovered the antidote and won. The next challenge was Valentine's Day and took place at Big Gay Al's. You have to grab a bow and arrow, and once the items are together, you can shoot others with the arrows. The first to hit everyone individually wins. I kinda just swooped in and stole the complete item set, then had a clutch moment sniping everyone one by one while backing up. Let's go! Let's go!
That's how we do it. Easy peasy, baby.
Now we're in the sewers, and this challenge has us racing after a pair of Cartman's underwear and taking them across 4 checkpoints for 3 laps. You can hold on to one pair or grab all 3 to, quote, annoy the others. Getting the underwear here was mildly annoying, and when I eventually stole a pair from Cartman, I had to try and get to the first checkpoint while staying away from everyone else so I wouldn't get hit and lose it. So I took a large detour instead of running straight into my downfall. Cartman would return the favor and claim his undies back, but shortly after I waited and reached for the officer's undergarments in a quick smash and grab. I made it halfway through the second lap when I hit Kyle's car and transferred my contraband over to him, much to my annoyance.
Oh no, he stole them!
This was definitely the worst challenge in the championship so far. I targeted Mr. Mackey because he was gaining the lead, then finally finished the last lap and won. Glad that's over with. It's now March 23rd and read a book day. But instead of doing that, we have to save chickens from the chicken lover and drop them off at the police station checkpoint. Whoever rescues 10 chickens first wins. This is another challenge where it's much easier to play smarter. By camping the checkpoint, you can easily swipe chickens from other players and reach 10 rescues fast. Wow. This next one takes the chicken challenge and cranks it up a notch. For Easter, we have to collect eggs throughout the track to reach a total of 20. Eggs can't be stolen by other players, but you can lose them if you're attacked by mutant bunnies. This one was a bit more challenging. Driving around trying to collect eggs was pretty tedious, and it ended up being pretty close between me and Kyle. With 2 more eggs to collect, I risked going through the railroad tunnels where some eggs were located on the map. Thankfully, no bunnies were around, and I got the last 2 I needed to win. Things would get quite interesting going into the pink lemonade challenge. Here we have to drop off pink lemonade to the prompted checkpoints 5 times, but whoever gets there first gets the point. This was absolute BS of the highest degree. The CPUs are always on top of things and know exactly the best ways to reach each checkpoint. Meanwhile, you have me, trying to get anywhere and being too slow to do it. Aside from rally days too, I hadn't used any of my retries, but this challenge ate the rest of them up.
It's just such RNG bullshit. I hate this. Oh my god, it's already back at 1? Someone's already there. It's not. Dude, this is the worst.
This felt like an absolutely rigged game. That was until my 3rd retry, where I remembered the other challenges where I worked smarter. The most annoying checkpoint to reach is number 1, which is also the checkpoint that you're usually prompted to go to after hitting any of the others. If you stay at checkpoint 1 and wait, you'll win.
That is such bullshit. I wasted all those continues on nothing.
I wish I had thought of that sooner because I spent almost all of my retries on this challenge when the answer was so quick and simple. In Memorial Day, we have to grab a laser device and pass it through 4 more checkpoints. Man, I feel like this game would have been a lot more fun if it was more actual racing and not these checkpoint minigames. This time, you have to grab the objective and reach each checkpoint individually, so you can't cheese this one. On my way to pick up the laser, I found an extra credit which gave me another redo. That was a nice little bonus. I didn't watch a ton of early South Park, so I'm not quite sure where this area is. All I know is these paths are narrow, and you're almost guaranteed to hit someone and lose the laser. I didn't make it past the 2nd checkpoint because of this. Good thing I picked up that extra credit when I did. In the 2nd run, I put my annoying tactics back to work. I lost the laser after hitting the 2nd checkpoint, but it was picked up by Ike, who headed straight for it. I made the swap happen and zoomed past everyone to get to the 3rd checkpoint. They were all on my tail, and I got cold feet by the nearby lava pit, but I made the jump and got all the way to the 4th checkpoint in one piece. It's now the 4th of July, and we have to, you guessed it correctly, race to the 4 checkpoints to complete a lap 3 times in a row. At least we're finally getting down to some classic racing again. Finding the best paths for all the checkpoints was bothersome, but doable. In the quest to figure out what that looked like for me, I lost the race. That meant I was down to my very last continue. If I lost any other challenges, I'd have to start all the way back from the beginning. I was definitely annoyed, but made do with the cards that I was dealt. This next time, I got another easy win. Now time skips from summer all the way to Halloween. This challenge plays exactly like the one earlier with the chickens, except there's no cap on how much candy you can collect, and there's a 4-minute time limit. Same as before, I camped the drop-off point and was way far ahead of everyone else by the time the 4 minutes were up. Thanksgiving followed after Halloween as it normally does on the calendar. This challenge requires us to collect 20 turkeys and then ring a bell in the middle of the map. Only, I didn't quite understand that that's what they wanted us to do because I'm a bozo. What I did was try to collect a few turkeys and then bring them to the drop-off point because that's what most of these challenges have been like so far.
Oh, we have to just collect them all together. Oh,
But by the time I had realized my mistake, it was way too late. I fell so far behind and lost to Pip. And just like that, the run was dead in the blink of an eye. And this game really lets you know it too. As probably anyone would be in this situation, I was pretty pissed. But there was a silver lining to this loss. All of the knowledge I had gained on how to win these challenges while putting in the minimal effort were with me now, and I could execute them in the next playthrough. So that's exactly what I did. First up was Rally Days 2. I caught Cartman as he was driving to the 4th checkpoint, stole the trophy, and won the challenge. Read a Book Day was the same as before. Camp the spawn and collect another win. Now back at Pink Lemonade, I stayed in the first checkpoint square and won like Luigi by doing absolutely nothing. With Easter, I noticed something new. A bunch of eggs spawn in the middle, and as you collect them, they'll continue to respawn. You could just drive in a circle, collecting eggs while being free from hazards. Every other challenge was a piece of cake, except for the underwear one. That got a retry out of me. Soon, I was back to Thanksgiving, where I once again lost incredibly quickly.
Oh my god, dude. Kenny has 18?
It took him less than 2 minutes to get almost 20 turkeys, which was nuts. Though, it didn't take too much time to figure out how to beat this challenge. Much like the eggs at Easter, the turkeys have a large spawn point near the middle of the map. If you keep driving around this area, you'll collect 20 in no time. The end was near and Christmas was in the air. We're back in the South Park town with another mission that's the same as Rally Days 2. This time, Terrence and Philip made an appearance, and these guys meant business. They are so fast, and they got the present and hit checkpoint 1 first. Determined to win and losing sight of my own advice from previous challenges, I went after the Canadians and stole the present from them right after the first checkpoint. I took the present all the way through checkpoint 3, where I got hit with some nonsense and lost the challenge to Mephisto. Thankfully, I was well prepared for a loss, and I had some extra retries handy. It didn't take much, and I made it all the way to the 4th checkpoint with the present in tow. Now it was New Year's Eve and the final challenge in the game. We have to grab Satan's dimensional key and hang on to it for 2 minutes to win. Satan got a hold of the key for nearly 6 seconds until I stole it away from him and proceeded to run in circles on the map. It was almost kind of pitiful. No one could catch up with me or tried to cut me off at any point to steal the key. I ran down the 2-minute timer, won the challenge, and proved that you can beat South Park Rally using only Chef. Thank you all so much for watching. This was an interesting experience. This game was not good by any means, and it certainly wasn't what I was expecting it to be. I was prepared for more the same old, but in return I got checkpoints, fetch quests, and keepaways. Chef also wasn't that bad of a character to play as, to be perfectly honest. The real challenge was learning how to cheese nearly every level, because if you didn't in some of them, there was no way you could win, probably no matter who you chose. I will give the game credit where it's due. It probably wasn't easy to throw this together in 7 months. Fans of the series will definitely find enjoyment in the references from the show. And the roster has tons of different characters. It's kind of funny now to see who was included in this game versus who wasn't. It really shows you how much the show has changed in the 25 years since this game's release. I ended up unlocking some other characters during my playthrough and gave them a try to see if there were any differences from Chef. Some minor changes in speed and handling, but it all felt almost the same to me. Guess you can't expect too much from this one. Anyways, that's all from me. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care.
Thank you so very much for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more challenges from me, don't forget to subscribe. Also, I stream all of my challenge runs live on my Twitch channel and sometimes on YouTube. If you'd like to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description, along with links to my other social media accounts, if you want to keep up with anything else I have going on or anything else I do, whatever I say. Thanks again for watching, everyone. See you in the next video. Cuts to black. Shows a fun little, thing.